really welcome all our live stream audience.
You're live.
So I'm in time to welcome all of you. And I'm so delighted, so happy that we just have this opportunity to connect with each other and beyond space and the time. And especially tonight, I have this opportunity to share with you and also share with my dear friend, dear colleague, Ken, which I'm going to introduce and shortly. So I'm looking forward to an amazing evening together and exploring our deep inspiration coming together for this amazing work we're doing and sharing with each other. So I want to really share a little bit of background, how this came around. You know, not so much of my big story of how I become Qigong teacher, Qigong master, and all of that, but more so is about the deepest inspiration. Only way I can say is this moment we're doing this moment we're together because of the deep inspiration from the heart. So I can give you many reasons, but right now is only 3 reasons I can summarize the deeper inspiration for us doing these events together. To connect with you through live stream, also inviting these wonderful friends in person to see each other, to say hi to each other, and hopefully you can have time to hug each other too. So 3 reasons I feel that deep inspiration go deeper into the heart. And often we say heart is so important. Yes? We express love, express joy, express connection from our heart, all that relationship, everything, talk about very often, and also feel that very often. And so in this particular context, what I'm feeling is in our personal life, our global life, what are we facing? Among all difficulties, different challenges, crises, including health-wise, somewhat is beyond the mind can solve. I don't know if you feel that way. If you use the mind to look at all the problems we're facing, it's mind-boggling. It's like hopeless. The mind feels hopeless. I don't know about you, but that's how I feel. Then it's quite a different experience when you get into the heart. Very different experience. You start to connect what is the most important thing in our life. What is the new resources, the inner wisdom, the new possibility. So the mind is like, see the problem. It's very good at analyzing the problem, trying to find a solution, but also very good at creating more problems as well. I don't know if you noticed that. The heart comes things like, everything's okay. When the parents see the kids making all the trouble, stuff like that, being hurt, whatever, crying, then the parents come and say, my dear, everything's okay. What do you notice? And the kids like mellow down. Everything becomes fine for them again. Then the parents' mind is still thinking, oh my God, am I faking it? I see the problem. My mind is thinking the same problem. The kids is making mess, all the problems they're facing, they're not behaving perfectly, all that. The mind is just thinking, there's a problem there. But the heart couldn't help say, everything's okay. It's a deeper dimension of experience, deep dimension of connection, new possibility. And that is one reason I want to start the evening to share a lot of inspiration I have, begin this conversation, inviting many friends, many colleagues to engage this exploration, and hopefully that providing a new insight, new energy, new connection, new possibility for all of us. No matter what you do, whether you're doing Qigong, yoga, meditation, prayer, spiritual practice, or simply, doing the most important practice is life, living life. So I'm so delighted, especially tonight, and have our dear friend here can join with us. Even we have not met in person for a very long time, and only a year ago we met in person, and yes, spiritually felt like we are many lifetime friends. And first of all, you may notice in between two of us, it's hard to tell who is more Chinese.
尤其是因为我只会说中国话，有这个问题。I jokingly, especially since I only speak Chinese, I have this problem.
So first time I met Ken, I was shocked. He started talking to me in Chinese, you know. My mind was in English mode, like trying to understand what he said. And he speak more like you. Like, okay.
To bring even more humor to this situation, when Gulash or Master Gu invited me to this wonderful gathering, he said, let's meet at the JCC. And I thought, what is that? And then he explained, it's the Jewish Community Center. My hometown in Boulder. I said, well, where is that? I don't know where it is. So we're in a, yes, we're in a kind of crazy world today, but there's also still a lot of humor and a lot of humor. We met at a conference together, and it was really like, what is the expression? We saw each other. Yeah, we saw each other, and we were old friends already, continuing a conversation that we left off. Who knows where? You all had that experience, so I was delighted and honored to accept this invitation.
Thank you for being here with me. I just want to add, many of you know Ken and his work, life, pretty much life, and he dedicates his life basically to particularly have such passion in Chinese art, Chinese internal art, spiritual practice. So he's been amazing work. So to Chinese. So he, other hand, born in China and grown up in Cultural Revolution, have a little contact in culture in ancient way, until I came to US. That was 27 years ago. Then that picked up, I think, what I left. As Ken was suggested probably many lifetime ago. And picking up that, it's given me a new perspective. So I still feel so fortunate, living here long enough and engaging my own culture in a different perspective, different context. So they're asking me to speak louder, so and so what I feel is this mix of background, from a different tradition, but finding the common thread, finding the mutual passion, finding what is the most important essence in the universal quality as a human being. And from that level, we connect with each other. And that sees so much happen, more happen. And that's one of the delights, being with Ken together, and for these days, we'd like to share with you as well. So what I'd like to start is, starting this amazing conversation, asking Ken that what is your journey in terms of what is your discovery, the importance of giving space of our heart, and especially in the context of studying Chinese spiritual tradition, bring this tradition to the Western culture, and as who you are, born in this culture, living normal way life here, what that make a difference for you in a personal way, as well as maybe if you like to share how your students, other people affected by this process.
Big question. Let me address this from two different viewpoints. On one hand, when my colleague Master Gu speaks about the heart. I'm in agreement with everything he said, but in my mind, it kind of gets translated into Chinese, strangely. And I hear sin, which means both heart and mind. And what I see as the problem, I was going to say in the West, but really it's a worldwide problem, is the separation of the two. And we have become so educated, you heard me correctly, so educated that I think the left hemispheres are so large that energetically, I feel like people are walking around holding their left brains like this because we're out of balance. So it's not only the right and the left hemisphere that have to work together, the so-called intellectual and the artistic, but also the mind and the wisdom inherent in that very word, usually translated heart-mind. By the way, it's spelled X-I-N. Okay? The heart-mind unified. And I really feel that's one of the great virtues, you could say, of practicing an art like Qigong or a related art like Tai Chi Chuan. And that is you develop a sense of being a whole human being. A whole human being. Not in bits and pieces, not in fragments. So that your mind and your heart, your inside and your outside, your right hemisphere and your left hemisphere, you with the universe, all unified together. So that in fact, you become the Tai Chi. Tai Chi is a philosophical word. I know some of you pronounce it Tai Chi. It's actually pronounced Tai Chi. The word Chi is not in the name Tai Chi. Tai Chi is a philosophical word, and it means the unity of yin and yang. Yin is the shady side of a mountain. Etymologically, you look at the Chinese character, that's what it means. Yang is the sunny slope of the mountain. Tai Chi is the peak of the mountain, where yin and yang are unified, where the sunny and shady come together. The masculine and the feminine, the passive and the active, stillness and movement, all opposites. So when you're first learning an art like Qigong, what's one of the first things your teacher teaches you? How to stand, how to breathe, how to sense nature around you, how to be in a state of whole body, whole mind, whole spirit together. In Tai Chi Chuan, again, a related art, we speak about Zheng Ti Jin. Zheng Ti Jin, whole body power. That is not fragmented power. It's as though, think of it this way. You're reaching for a dish on the shelf. So don't reach for it like this, reach for it like this. Use the whole body. You're going to lift a heavy object. You all know this. If you only bend over and lift the object up, you strain your back. But if you incorporate your legs and your back and your arms and your lats and your deltoids and your core strength, then the movement is easy because we're designed to use our body as a whole. However, I think that we are designed, in fact, to use our mind, our spirit, our heart together as a whole. So it's not just whole body strength, it's whole body, whole mind, whole spirit, everything together. So that to me is my basic perspective of the heart. It's, to me it would be as imbalanced to be only heart-centered as to be only mind-centered, or only body-centered, or only spirit-centered, right? Well, people like that, don't you think they're kind of boring? Don't you think? Someone who's only focused on their body? Or yes, that's a very interesting idea. Let me think about that. Let me think about Qigong. The person will never practice it. It becomes intellectual Qigong. So what we're looking for is this state of unity. That's this, to me, part of the inner meaning of Yu Dao. So Yi, at one with the Tao. That is at one with the way of nature. Nature is both your own nature and nature outside of you. The reason, to answer the other side of your question, one of the reasons that Qigong and Tai Chi Chuan so drew me was precisely because of the themes that you're mentioning with opening the heart, be the change. I grew up in New York City, I was very sickly as a child. I know it's almost cliche, but I really was. My father was a pharmacist. He's actually still alive. He's a wonderful person. I feel blessed that both my parents are. But you know, those days in the 1950s, if you got the common cold, what was the cure? It wasn't rest and liquids. Penicillin, tetracycline. My father, the pharmacist, would always be bringing home antibiotics for me to take, and became a vicious cycle. It became, you know, more sickness. The more you get those antibiotics, the weaker your immune system, less your ability to fight off the infection on your own. And finally, when I was about 15 or 16 years old, I had terrible insomnia. I was cut off from people. I was feeling isolated. I was ill much of the time, and I felt different. Basically, I had a sense that I knew who I was, and that was a kind of forbidden knowledge. And others here have had that, and others in our viewing audience have had that experience as well. But it was very significant for me. I remember one time when I was 12 years old, I was standing on a street corner and wondering why the kids in my class seemed to dislike me so much. All of a sudden, I had this realization, and I remember how I framed it back then. I was 12 years old. I know who I am. Maybe I'm not supposed to know that. And all of a sudden, it's as though a veil was lifted from my eyes, and everything became translucent and crystalline. I remember seeing and experiencing light shining from within everything around me. And one day, I had the feeling that I knew what that light meant. I saw different qualities and intensities of light in people, in the sky, in the buildings, and everything around me. Well, skip ahead a number of years. 15 years old, 16 years old, physically ill, feeling very isolated. And I saw someone doing Tai Chi training out on the lawn, in a park. And as soon as
back in New York?
In New York. Yes. And as soon as I saw it, I said to myself, this is it. I don't know what it is. Wow, I feel fantastic. I feel so calm watching. So I asked this gentleman, I said, what are you doing? He told me. I said, is there a way I can learn that? He said, yes, there are teachers. So by the time I was 16, I was studying Tai Chi Chuan. Shortly thereafter, Qigong. Qigong is like the big picture. You'd say Tai Chi Chuan is insofar as it's a healing exercise, Tai Chi Chuan is a subset. Yeah. So Qigong, Tai Chi Chuan, and Chinese language not long after that. And, you know, I had the virtue of intelligent stupidity. I had the virtue of intelligent stupidity. That is, I didn't know.
Very fortunate.
Yes. I didn't know it was supposed to be good for me. Yeah. I didn't know Qigong was good for health. I didn't know Tai Chi Chuan was good for balance, health, and deep breathing, and relaxation, and emotional balance, and so forth. I did it simply for the joy and love of doing it, for no other reason. Then years later, just a few years later, I looked back and realized I'm a different person. My health was better. I was socially engaged. I had friends. I felt I had, of course, a new community of fellow practitioners. But beyond that, I felt more at ease and more at peace in the world, both the physical environment and the social environment. And you might be wondering, I come from my ancestry is European Jewish, what my parents thought about all this. Well, actually, my mother wasn't my father, but my father has now, my mother accepted my new life path right away because she saw, I think even before me, how I was changing, how I was with a different class of people, new friends. I didn't have the insomnia. I wasn't on edge. I was happy that I was healthy and happy. Yeah, they accepted. My father took a little bit longer, but eventually they both accepted it. So that the draw for me was the love of the art, and realizing it had in fact helped me personally. That's not why I did it.
Yeah.
And I want to mention one final thing before we continue this conversation. You know, to a certain degree, every attempt to improve yourself, you know, a lot of people talk about self-help books and people say, oh, I'm going to improve myself through Qigong. I say why. Your attempt to improve yourself reinforces the poor self-image you have now, which is driving that quest. That is, every attempt to improve reinforces the status quo. So instead of trying to improve, develop intelligent stupidity. That is practiced for the love, for the joy it brings you, for the peace it brings you, and for no other reason. Be with the unfolding present. You don't listen to a piece of music to reach the end point. That would case all musical compositions would only consist of finales. You listen to music to be with the process. So be with the process of Qigong.
That's such a wonderful insight, when students come to me share with a lot of things, how their life improve, health improve, and then they will say, I love my practice now. I said, that's it. Now you're really getting it. When students say, love my practice, I'm still doing it. And I know the magic is happening in their life, and I can relate to this myself, basically. And I had a severe health issue to begin with, but I was kind of ignoring it. I get into Qigong practice because just love the way I'm feeling, love the way, I'm relating to energy, relating to life, relating to others in general. Just feel a sense of calm. That's the main discovery. If I want to use one word to describe it, and describe the true gift of Qigong is really allow you to discover the wholeness. Yeah. So the conversation we focus on, one big step is to from the mind moving downward into the heart space. And from there, even go deeper into all your being, even go deeper into your relationship with others, go deeper into your relationship with the planet Earth, with the universe, in that space. So the continued invitation is always there. And yet, how can you, directly experience that? And I feel very fortunate. And with Qigong, become possible, become for me, become direct embodied experience, directly embodied experience. So when I used to enjoy a lot of book, even I'm very slow reader, reading all different spiritual book. You get a lot of inspiration out of it. But at the same time, I kind of got lost in, get out of the book, still think, feel like your mind get more clear, but you don't know how to apply them to daily life, apply them to your deep feeling to it. And until I practice Qigong, suddenly all these, spiritual principles become more real, more fact, more embodied. So what I really, making the invitation also tries so much for myself is slow this regular practice of Qigong enable you to directly experience the source energy, directly experiencing the true wholeness of who we are. And I feel without going to the heart, it's quite difficult to do. That is my experience of it. So I want to, continuously engage in this conversation. How can we, do that in the most effective way? So the last weekend, an incredible exploration with a very intimate group. It's really engaging the 5 spiritual qualities of the heart. And often we know, one is of course love. Yes, love. Of course, the quality of the heart. And the second is the joy. That's the quality of the heart. And the next one is, I call purpose. Sometimes people say passion. Yeah, passion. But passion continue to evolve to purpose. Then the next one is compassion, often related with peace. Then another one is creativity. Yeah, creativity. a lot of creativity come out of your heart, starting with your heart. So what we did exploring further beyond just relating this quality in our heart, in our life. What is energetic behind these qualities? So what I have been discovering is they're relating to 5 organs, not just the heart. Yeah. The kidney, for example, relating to creativity. Your primal energy of life starting with your kidney. That's the creation. Your body is the expression of this creation. So not just your mind thinking, I want this, I want that, is thinking, oh, that's a creative mind. That's maybe it's one expression, but that's the second step already. The first step is starting with your primal energy of the kidney. We call it gene energy. Continue in reproductively, regenerating your whole body basically, cellular level, and feeding your spirit as well, just as an example. So we engage 5 organs. Another example would be the joy, how that relating to actually the digestive system, not just the heart. So it's an amazing exploration, through our practice, you can discover further. We all want this quality. We feel this quality deeply in our heart from time to time. How can we sustain it? How we can truly embody that? And then we can share more of this energetic quality with others and bring that into our life. So I feel just so passionate to explore further and deeper. So anything else we like to share, in terms of and directly for you can help all of us to go further on this journey.
No, I agree with you,
Yeah.
Mr. Gu. Your perspective about bringing this into an actual practice rather than just talk. I mean, the purpose of talking to me is to inspire us to make the changes.
Absolutely, yeah.
And this is so important, especially with the access we have now to information, and being able to teach in this way online, that people not use that as an excuse to avoid doing. And just a few comments to add to your beautiful message. I discovered something fairly recently in the, as you know, I love Chinese books, in the writings of Sun Simiao.
Sun Simiao, yeah.
Sun Simiao was a great writer, revered writer of Chinese medicine. The volume of his work is absolutely extraordinary. So in his book, 1,000 Precious Prescriptions, he says, and I think I can quote it, people become ill when they do not have love in their lives and are not cherished. Isn't that extraordinary? This is from a classic work on Chinese medicine written over 1,000 years ago. People become ill when they do not have love in their lives and are not cherished. So there's the social dimension, which we can't ignore, which is so important. We know the devastating effects on ourselves, through our own experiences, on others, when someone, because of their history, because of bitterness, because of the heart closing down, when they lose even part of their capacity to receive, to give love. Don't you think? One of the worst tragedies that can happen. But one of the beautiful things about Qigong is that there are, in fact, practices which, although not directly aimed at times at open heart, have that as a side effect because of the way you feel not only more aware of yourself and others, but more relaxed with who you are, and less of a need to create those shells around your heart in reaction to bitterness, trauma, in reaction to the absurdity of having to be who we were yesterday. So we will try to speak up. There is a heating system here, which I hope you will enjoy and reinterpret in your mind as the drone of the many Buddhist priests who are all chanting. So we're going to have to do some reinterpretation. We can't control it. We'll flow with it. And going along with what Master Gu has said about the kidneys, and his, again, wonderful interpretation. Yes, the kidneys are the jade that is the core reproductive energy. And in Chinese medicine, they speak about having kidneys and heart in balance. That if the kidney water, which is also our source of being grounded, you think of the first point on the kidney meridian, which is in the feet. If the kidneys are not functioning correctly and we're not grounded, then sometimes the heart fire actually becomes excess. Not because of an inherent problem in the heart, but because there's not enough water or grounding to give it balance. So we need both. We need the enthusiasm and warmth of the heart, but also the physical grounding. And this again brings us back to Master Gu's point about the 5 organs, the 5 phases, 5 elements. The word for internal organ, the yin viscera, yin organs in Chinese, the word zang, that Chinese word for the lungs, heart, liver, spleen, and kidneys actually means to store or to hold. And I'll repeat that again. The word for the internal organs in Chinese medicine means an alternate meaning of the same Chinese character, to store or to hold. And so thus very intelligently, I think it was Isabelle Robinet, great writer on Taoist meditation, said the internal organs are reservoirs of spiritual force. And those reservoirs have to be kept in balance. One of the ways we keep them in balance is not only through Qigong exercises, meditations, practices, through diet, lifestyle, but also knowing the effect that emotions, including love, and including negative emotions, have on internal organ balance. Without spending a lot of time about this, just to give you an idea, if you think of the liver, the biggest organ in our body, one that controls the even distribution of qi. That is, if you have cold hands and feet, too much energy in one place, too little in another, or your moods are swinging wildly, the extreme example being bipolar, there's a liver imbalance. And the liver is healed through kindness. The liver is healed through kindness, but hurt through anger. No bilious, almost the same word in English and Spanish. Bile in the blood. There's intuitive understanding among the world's peoples, not just China, that anger harms the liver, gallbladder system. But conversely, the liver is healed through kindness. And so on for each of the organs. There's a positive emotion that heals, and what could be called a negative emotion that causes harm to each organ. I'll give you one other example, the spleen. The spleen is healed through trust. Someone who lacks an ability to trust may have an imbalance in the spleen. But the spleen is hurt through obsessiveness. When we get preoccupied with our own thoughts, overly pensive.
Worry, another way.
That's right.
Yeah.
So in Qigong and in Chinese medicine both, we look for a balance, but we find concrete ways to work with the energy of the organs. For example, if you were working on your liver, you might inhale the quality of kindness into your liver and exhale frustration and anger. You might inhale the quality of peace into the heart and exhale shock, anything that upsets your equilibrium. And again, so on for each organ. For the kidneys, which we spoke about earlier, the emotion that harms the kidneys is fear. So someone who's dealing with fear, with PTSD, with effects of trauma, with phobia, all of that is a continuing drain on the qi of the kidneys. Whereas a feeling of almost a kind of confidence that says, I'm cultivating wisdom and I know who I am. That's the groundedness that heals the kidneys. And Master Gu will understand I'm using a little bit of poetic
Yes.
liberty here. I'm saying that the term "zhi," usually translated wisdom. I'm
That's
interpreting.
exactly the name of from Qigong.
Yes,
Zhi,
Zhi.
Zhi,
Yeah.
yeah.
So "zhi" is that groundedness that comes through self-knowledge.
Yeah, deeper inner wisdom. And actually the character of these words, and because you're so interested in the Chinese character, and quite fascinating if you look at that words. There are four parts. First part means connecting with heaven. Second part means knowing or eating. Kou,
Yes.
kou,
Yes.
eating.
Yes.
Then the 是 跟 kou 的一起字 knowing. Then underneath the 日 the sense, the source energy. So it's really about eating, knowing, source energy with full commitment. That's the deeper meaning of the word 智 and sharing. So it's a quite profound wisdom that we're cultivating, connecting, in all these more like science, energy science, all these practice. So I may add another piece to what Ken's sharing about balance of this organ, how affecting the emotions, so on, is not only the water and fire associated with the heart, the water associated with the kidney, can bring to balance, a sense of balance. Balance often equivalent to say health. But also a deep dimension of alchemy. When fire and water working together become a transformation, a real creativity come out of that. So in Chinese tradition, there's two levels of this kind of, let's say, what's the word? Either feng shui or I Ching or energy practice. One level is more focused on balance. It's really good for health and life in general. Another level is for deeper transformation. You transform a deeper than balance itself. So this is one area I want to invite you to explore too. Can share that already. What if you're feeling anger, for example, in the liver, and that means some malfunction happening in your liver. Yeah. So energy in some level is stuck. It's not functioning in natural way. So then you're experiencing anger more. So in order to, overcome the anger, you have to change the energy. Yeah. But in order to change the energy, you have to let go of anger, right? So these two kind of back and forth, right? So sometimes it's kind of challenging. Yeah. Do you get to that? I look at it lost, kind of catch 22, right? So what we do sometimes is really effective. Yeah, that mental back and forth. They really go into the energy using whatever technology we do to change the energy directly. For example, can mention breathe in the kindness into the liver. Yeah, then you can release anger much easier. Then try mentally releasing, anger. It's quite difficult to do. When you anger, your mind is lost. Lost your mind already. The mind is not in control to begin with, right? So another very powerful way we're doing is using the sound. The sound for the liver is like the G sound is containing the energy, so the energy is not exploded. The energy of the anger is very powerful. The G is more like contain, means contain, the words mean contain. But the sound has that vibrational quality, holding the energy together and not exploding, so to speak. Then the next sound is like you allow the energy arising, so not stuck in the. Yeah. Often we feel the anger suppressed not good, but the anger explode is not good either. Yeah. So how to use the energy, alchemize this energy, and that is one deeper dimensional practice. So the lean is lifting the energy up, free the energy from the liver to the brain, become amazing powerful energy, bring more nourishment to the brain, actually feel very clear. A sense of clarity, sense of courage, sense of purpose. So using this energetic practice, transforming our the most difficult emotion in our life is so needed. And that is one of my passionate folks. Yeah, in our life, we have so much stress, problems. I see the most challenging problem is our emotional stress. You said, whether you know this or not. If you look around, see all the problem, compare all the problem with the problem of fear, anger, the energy of fear, the energy of anger, and the energy of worry, and carry more hopeless, all that, and the energy of depression, closeness of the heart, all that is much, much more challenging than other circumstances, other conditions. So that is where we can make a change, at least one way to make a deep change from there. And that's why it's so important for us to go deeper within and go deeper into what is the most important. Be in touch with your energy and shifting the energy to the most happy, joyful, harmony conditions. Then we're ready to make much greater difference in the world. And please do so. Anything you want to share?
Another way to think about this is that we're using the physiology, and under physiology I'm including energy. We're using the physiology to change the psychology. So sometimes, although talk therapy is certainly required at times, but often that will reinforce the individual's preoccupation with themselves, which is the very source of the problem. Whereas the traditional Chinese viewpoint is you change the way this emotional disturbance has expressed itself in your body, in your energy, in your internal organs. When we change that, the mind changes accordingly. The wisdom of these concepts is embedded also in the English language. Again, it's not that this type of wisdom is exclusively in China, but China has developed a methodology that's absolutely extraordinary, that we can actually make the changes. But think of some common expressions that show the connection between emotional challenges and physical disturbance. We talk about being uptight, a pain in the neck. I can't stand it. If you look at someone who has that script going, I can't stand it, look at their knees. 90% of the time, the knees are going to be locked because they literally can't stand it.
Yeah.
That is, they can't feel the ground. So the best psychological approach, perhaps, is to find out what happened in their life story that made them feel that they couldn't be present, that made them so preoccupied with repeating some coping mechanism that they had developed to deal with trauma. And that's sometimes the appropriate way to go. But the traditional Chinese viewpoint is, let's see how this has affected your energy and what we can do about it on that level. Then sometimes the physical armoring of that emotion into particular structures, such as I can't stand it or I'm uptight. As the physical armoring is released, so too the preoccupation with that side, that portion of your life history. And the emotional problem ceases to be a problem. It just dissipates without having analyzed it, without having figured out exactly how it got knotted up and what you need to do to unknot it. That process is not always required. This also goes back to another dimension of something you mentioned before about purpose, which I love, because I've not heard that expressed very often in the context of Chinese culture, not expressed directly, even though it's implicit in the philosophy.
Right.
And so maybe greater joy of life will come more from listening to the purpose that is drawing us from the future, rather than the belief that our current personality is shaped by the history from our past.
Absolutely. Often we say, the calling of your spirit, your soul, what is your true, let's say, contract, so to speak, awakening to that. And so many of us start to discover that it feel different. When you connect with your true purpose, your heart just become much open, and your life just flows much effortlessly. And actually, you're more willing to take on whatever level challenges in your life, and come with that can be joy, actually profound, deep level joy. Yeah. And again, I want to really emphasize what you said already. In this Chinese tradition of energy practice, you discover everything you experienced in the past, everything you want to experience in the future. Everything you have in this present moment, it's all there in this body. It's all there in this body. All your memories, all your futures. What you ate in the past, what you experienced, whether good or bad, it's all in the body. Yeah. When we learn to go into the body, there's amazing materials. Also, there's amazing resources. Yeah. Beyond just the mental level. So you go deeper into this bodily, energetic level. Come out of that is really, you start to feel this intimate feeling, intimate wholeness. But go further, discover other qualities, it's all there. A way to rediscover. And one way I usually say is, when you're getting inspiration of improving your health. Of course, we do want to improve our health, and that is a natural desire in general speaking. Connecting what is your purpose of improving your health. When you're getting healthier, then what? Many of us, because of years, maybe we lost our job, even lost our relationship, lost whatever other things we treasure in our life. But when you get healthier, what is your new relationship with your job? With other people, with life in general. That can be even more important than just having a healthy body or not. Can sleep better or not. Can, trying to get rid of the symptom or recover from cancer. All these severe conditions. So connecting with the purpose can allow you, connecting with the wholeness, connecting with your spirit, connecting with more energy resource of your life, including your creativity. And I share with my students often, most of the time I feel a lot of energy, so I keep working non-stop, creating more trouble for myself and for others, and for my family too. But I have so much energy to spend, so I couldn't help it, right? People ask me like, what is your trick, How come you have all this energy, And really, it's coming down to it, it's really the most important thing is purpose. Yeah. Bigger your purpose, yes, then bigger energy can connect us. And clear, that means more committed to connect with that purpose. Then stronger, that life energy becomes available for you to tap into, to experience, to stand. And of course, other quality we're speaking of tonight about is contributing to the connection with the heart. With that. If your heart is not open, so love is really relating to the open heart. Self-love, love of others. when the heart is opening internally, there's so much space in the heart. Think about, look at it, there's a logic of the heart. That's the only organ in the body have more space than any other organs. It's like empty inside. There are a lot of empty space inside. Beside the brain, blood, muscle, tissues, fans going on. There's a lot of empty space. This is good. So, it's physically, we have more space to open up. Energetically, we have more space to open up. Not only, often we think of open externally to other people, but also how can it open internally? Inwardly. That's the energetic foundation of self and self-acceptance and self-worth, self-nourishment. And that is a very important quality and for us to cultivate, speaking of the heart. So the opening internally, the opening externally, completing the whole piece of it. Then we can open into other organs, other energy foundation we're speaking about tonight, and opening to life in general. And I want to check in what's the time we have.
8 more minutes.
8 more minutes, yeah. Right on time. So, would you speak to your feeling of this practice from your journey, connecting the energy of the heart, the implication to life in a large scale, planetary scale, in social scale?
So my feeling is that if you are living your life with purpose, then you're eliminating friction. That is that commitment, which is the hardest thing for people to do.
Not easy.
Then to outside pressures. I mean, think of the number of young people who might have a passion for becoming an artist. Or you see kids say, oh, I want to be an actor, I want to be an actress. And some school advisor comes along, often well-meaning, and says, oh, there's no future in that. Or there's no money in that. And so young people give up on their dreams and their sense of purpose. So this is a big, to me, this is such a big and important issue that you're raising. And I think it is one of the keys to having that chi, that life force released and available, so we can not only improve our health, but do our service in the world. I completely agree with you, because as I said, it does, that will eliminate friction. And sometimes we think, and here I want to sort of put on my other hat for a moment. My brother, Master Gu, knows that I have equal involvement in Native Americans. It's my other lifelong training. I usually keep the two fields somewhat separate because I don't want to mix cultural languages. But here I do want to add something from my Native American elders. I was speaking one time with a Seneca Indian elder in New York State. And she said to me, maybe the medicine is not something we take in, but something we let out. That if we have a gift, if we have a purpose, and we don't have the courage to express it in the world, then that very strength or gift rots inside of us and becomes the source of our own disease. So the gift that we have, the purpose that we discover, need to be then expressed.
And shared.
And shared.
Shared, yeah.
It goes back to what you said also, which I loved about, well, once you're healthy, what are you going to do? Right? Yeah. Because if you connect then your health with some greater purpose, and I'm not talking about you have to be some sort of world savior. I mean, the purpose is doing whatever is your gift in service of the world. Being a great parent. Fixing cars so that people are safe on the road. You could be a mechanic and you're following as noble a gift as any Taoist master, Qigong master, who knows what. It's just a matter of finding what that gift is and having the courage to live it.
And enjoy living that purpose. Yeah. How do you know actually your purpose? For me, you truly enjoy, truly from your heart, from your very being, enjoy what you do. Another piece I want to really offer before we completing this evening session is really engage, not just discover, but starting doing what you can do. Don't wait for an ultimate solution. Think of I have to find an ultimate solution to fix all my problem of life. Then I'm going to truly committed to that. I have to find all the solution for the entire world. Then I can be a leader. Then I can be a powerful influence. Do what you can now.
It's like people
This
think they
moment.
have to be the Buddha first.
Exactly.
You know? Some people think they have to be the Buddha first.
You can't.
You can be in a cave your whole life.
Right, that's right. End up defeating the purpose, actually. So not just in spite of the purpose, but starting from wherever you're at and doing something make a change. And that's what's so beautiful about what we are sharing is Qigong. You start, moving your body a certain way, lifting qi up, pull qi down. You start chanting the sound, xing, heart open more, You start doing the meditation, your mind purpose, visualizing your heart vision for your life, for other people's. You start energetically engaging in this creative process. Imagine what the implication of that is less conflict, less stress, less hopelessness, less stress or busyness, and much more empowerment, much more creativity. Come out of that, much more joy. And imagine, the implication.
A better example for our children.
Absolutely.
And better example for others. Because I know some of you that are hearing this are thinking, well, what about all the people that are not in their hearts? This is fine and dandy, but what about people that are closed-hearted, closed-minded, or who are filled with anger? What do we do about them? Number one thing is we have to live our own truth. We can't missionize and force our vision on someone else, but we can soften their boundaries quite a bit if we meet them as genuine human beings and if we're in our own center. So this is part of the answer. I'm not saying to avoid the social activism, fighting against political injustice. I'm an activist. But it has to start with us being an example of that peace.
Beautiful. So I'm so delighted to share this evening with all of you in person, also wherever you might be right now, this moment. Yeah, we're broadcasting, sharing with you from Boulder, Colorado. I'm quite surprised I'm not be here today. Came all the way from California to meet Ken in Jewish countries. And that's one of his cultural heritage. And it's quite amazing how things work, And so what I really treasure most is our common purpose is bring us together. Then from that place, we can truly create some magic. From all the work I've been engaging with students, that's where I see the treasure. Anytime when we come together with a common dedicated purpose, incredible magic happen. Incredible magic happen. And that is the science. This is energetic science, energetic technology. Now it's so available for everyone. So while we engage in this conversation, we are opening up a much bigger invitation. Say, please join us. Now share your heart, share your presence, share your desire, and share this wisdom of the heart from our tradition. And maybe you're ready even to more. Some practice maybe. Maybe you want to dedicate whatever you're doing. Qigong, yoga, prayer, any form of meditation, any spiritual practice, art, dance, whatever you're doing, but with clear purpose. That's my invitation. That's why I create this program. You can see it on this page right now. A big invitation if you like, if you're ready, and take a plunge That means you join, millions of other people. We're starting with us. Few hundred join already. Our envision millions, not just this year, and continue for a year to come. With a deeper purpose, what are you doing for good from your heart? You're dedicating this to the highest benefit of your own life as well benefit of all sentient beings on the planet Earth. What that means is you're creating a unified energy, can benefit your own healing, your transformation, your life in a more deeper, profound way, accelerating the process, but also affecting the planet Earth much more direct way. And that's genetic science we have discovered slow tradition like Qigong. So I'm very excited to share that invitation with you. And of course, we have many programs continuously offering and including online classes, and not only teaching but also guiding the practice of Qigong from this tradition. And also, please do find more information for my brother's work. What do you say your website address?
Oh, you can just use my name. I have a couple of domain names. KennethCohen.com. KennethCohen. KennethCohen.com.
And again, Ken is based in Boulder, but he traveled extensively to all different places and giving amazing teachings. So I'm very, very grateful again to you and to you, everyone here. We got to meet in person, and to everyone online to share our heart, share our desire. And you're sharing so much, even just being here this moment. So blessing to all of you. Until next time.